Please stay on until the end to hear how sound and frequency can help elevate your life and your health.
So yeah, let's just get clear. When we're talking about happiness, what are we really talking about?
You know, a lot of people think it's walking around with that fake smile all day. That's not what it is at all. What it is, it's a deep sense of peace and well-being that is not dependent on your circumstances. So it's deeper, it's an inward job. And I added one more thing to that, and that is to live your life in color, because just so many people exist. They're living, I call it, in black and white. They're just sort of getting by. And we're really meant to thrive, and we have that possibility. So I added that definition recently because it just seemed like missing something. Like, yes, we want peace and well-being. That's so important. That's the base. And just to comment on what you had said, is that, yes, people think, oh, it's frivolous and it's selfish to work on my own happiness, but it's just the opposite, because it's contagious. We have something called mirror neurons in our brain that mirrors the activity of other people. And so it gets passed on. So when we're unhappy, everyone around us, our family, our friends, it gets passed on. So by increasing our happiness, we're just making a big difference to those around us and the world, which so desperately need, there's just so much sadness existing. So it's just the opposite. It's probably one of the best things you can do for everybody else besides yourself.
Yeah, and quantum physics tells us that we're all connected. So we really are. We're doing something for ourselves, and at the same time, we're doing something good for the world. And there's this thing you talk about, this happiness set point. So can you explain what that is and how we can change that, improve that?
Yes, it's really an exciting thing because this was studied. It was studied that just like there's a thermostat, we all have what's called a happiness set point, our base level of happiness. And we can go up, we can go down. But the best news is that we can all learn habits to increase that. But it's so interesting what makes up that happiness set point. So most people, 50% is genetics. That's what they came to believe. However, now with epigenetics, how we can turn on and off our genes, we can control that part. But then most people think that what's so important is the circumstances. And do you want to take a guess at what percent is the circumstances? Most people think, oh, if I only married another person, or oh, if I was in a different relationship or had a different job, I'd be happy
Yeah.
then. So do you want to just take a
Well,
guess
very
on?
low. I would, yeah, yeah. You're, but I guess a lot of people are thinking it's very high, and we've got a tendency to think we have to have that thing that we want to be
Yes.
happy, but it's just actually the opposite, which we need to do.
Only 10%.
10%.
The other 40% is your habits. And we can change that. That's the beautiful thing, that when you learn certain habits, and they found that, happier people had different habits. And so by learning different habits, guess what? You can raise that happiness set point.
And obviously, and then that not being happy is one thing, but it's what we know from the science, which I know you know a lot about and you talk about, is that actually impacts our health.
Yes, there's a huge correlation between happier people live on an average 9 years longer. There's a 35% improvement in their immune system. Their risk of dying is significantly less. 47, I mean, I can go on, but 47% increase. There's a 40% increase in sleep disorders in people who aren't happy. So it really goes on in terms of the health benefits of happiness. It's, in terms of cardiovascular disease, forgiveness, which is something that sort of robs us of our happiness. They found that people that don't forgive, it's a huge, huge risk factor for cardiovascular problems. So there's all sorts of health benefits of happiness that, you don't think when you're trying to heal yourself or improve your health that this is a piece of it, but this is a huge piece of it. So this was from the Mayo Clinic. It increased positive attitude, increased lifespan, lowered rate of depression, lowered level of distress and pain, greater resilience to illness, better psychological well-being, better cardiovascular health, and reduced risk of death from cardiovascular disease and stroke, reduced risk of death from cancer. from respiratory conditions, reduced risk of death from infections, and better coping skills during hardship and times of stress.
And with the EMFs is what we know, well, not everybody knows, but it actually affects your mental state. And we have this depression, anxiety, the whole load of chemical reactions which are taking place from these exposures, biochemical effects, add these adverse biochemical effects. But again, it's okay, so the EMFs might be affecting you, but that's not to say you can't be happy. And no matter what health challenge you're facing, Margie, I think we can say this, we can still be happy.
And if you can look at life as a victim or a victor, regardless of what's happening to you. So if you're in victimhood, like, oh, me, I'm so, like, look at you, Lloyd. You were so struggling. You couldn't tell, so sensitive to EMFs. It's easy because you feel bad for yourself. But staying there is the fastest route to unhappiness. So by saying, you know what, I got this, I understand, like you did, Lloyd, okay, and being a victor, like, what can I do? And let's start looking at solutions. So solution one is being part of your community and learning what you can do. And so once you start changing the energy and focusing on, okay, and then celebrating it, wow, I was able to make these changes today. That's already reducing the load that I'm exposed to. Or I was, following some of your tips and realized by grounding myself now, I'm not feeling as bad. So what happens is you start celebrating whatever good exists. You want to magnify the good in your life.
And as you say, it's this focus, isn't it?
Yes.
And if we're focusing on this fight all the time with this thing that we're saying is wrong or whatever, and if instead we can kind of sit back and bring some acceptance and forgiveness, as you say, that's such a big thing. Is that how many people are carrying these energies,
grudges, like a grudge,
grudges, bad feeling towards other people. And it can be so deep rooted.
I absolutely agree. And so by doing that, you're just creating so much animosity, so much negativity, and it's going to keep you stuck, and maybe your muscles tight, whatever physical manifestation can happen. So it's such a powerful thing to just realize, okay, what they happened is in the past, put some compassion to it.
But at the same time, don't some people get comfortable in being miserable?
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's like, because what you're saying, I mean, it's sounds,
an energy.
We're drawn to it, but it requires a bit of effort. Whereas being miserable, then that you just get good at being miserable.
What you're saying is so true. It feeds upon itself, and it becomes this energy. It actually causes, like, your adrenaline, you can get addicted to being miserable, just like you said.
It costs you in terms of your health in any case. I mean, it might be easy, but you're going down a one-way street.
Yeah, it's so true. And so by just changing what you're focusing on, like pretend you're a detective for the good. What good exists? And if you really have trouble, you can, like, give awards away, like for the cutest dog you see, or the nicest person that day to yourself, or the nicest flowers, whatever it is, just to start retraining yourself to look for good, and then when something good happens, you don't want to just let it go.
I'm guessing that's what your program is about. It's about, getting people, okay, so it's 7 days, but it's not like, 7 days, that's it, done and dusted, and then we'll put that away and we'll move on to the next thing. It's to get you into a routine, so this is part of your life, and it's changing your life for the better.
Yeah, I've seen people's lives just transformed when they start doing, again, there's different practices for each person, but yeah, it's great.
Margie, thank you so much for your work in the world. Thanks for sharing today. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's always, you have such good energy. So it's always so good being with you. I really enjoy it. Thank you.
Likewise, likewise. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, listener viewer, for attending. And this interview and all my interviews are in the EMF Experts Solutions Club. Until next time, I'll be interviewing another expert. My name is Lloyd Burrell from electricsense.com. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I know these expert conversations and excerpts can truly elevate your life, and it's my privilege to share them with you. Whether you're wanting to elevate your health, support your mind, or elevate your consciousness and your spiritual connection, sound is one of the most important ways to achieve these goals, whatever your circumstances. And you can access my sound healing video MP3 bundle to explore using sound and frequency to inspire energy, reduce pain and fatigue, reduce stress, lessen anxiety, boost your immune system, and so on and so on. This is such a powerful way to promote vibrant health and elevate your well-being. And it's yours at no cost. Enjoy. I'm Lloyd Burrell. Watch out for my videos every week to help you live your best life. Thank you.